I'm Tulsa Fire Department Public Information Officer Andy Little, and I'm here today with Assistant Fire Marshal Bryan Runyan. We just wanted to give you some tips to help keep you safe during this inclement weather. Bryan, what do you recommend people do when they're driving once this weather hits?
One, if you can stay at home, stay at home. Two, if you have somewhere to be, give yourself plenty of time to get there. And with that, carry some extra supplies in your car just in case you have an issue with your vehicle or you're involved in an accident. Something that will keep you warm, blankets, clothes, because it's freezing out there.
We also recommend that you make sure that your cell phone is fully charged, that you have gas in your car, and just slow down. Last year around this time when we had the inclement weather, you saw cars off the roadways left and right. If you do leave the roadway and your car is inoperable, it could put you in danger if you're cold. So, like Officer Runyan said, it's very important to have warm clothing and something to sustain you while you wait for assistance. Talking about this cold, people are using alternative sources of heat, trying to stay warm. What recommendations do you have about those heat sources?
So the common thing is space heaters. Space heaters are fantastic for what they do. However, they need to be attended at all times. You need to make sure you're plugging them into a wall outlet, and you need to make sure you have at least 3 feet of space around them. That way, if they are left unattended, that's the leading cause of structure fires right now at this time are unattended space heaters.
Now, is it okay to use extension cords with those? What are the recommendations for that?
We recommend you plugging them into the wall, but if you have to use an extension cord, make sure when you're not using it that it's unplugged.
And is it okay to leave those on while you're sleeping?
No, not recommended for long uses. They actually have shut-off protection in them. They'll overheat, and that sensor will shut them off. You need to use them for a short amount of time while you're there within the room you're in. They're only intended to heat a very limited space, so don't try to use it to heat your entire house.
It's also important that you don't utilize those around small children and pets. They can easily knock those over, sustain burn injuries, potentially cause a fire in your home. These are all things we want to avoid. It's certainly worth taking the time to be careful to ensure that your family stays safe during this weather. Talk to me about other sources of heat. Are we seeing people utilizing ovens? Are they using fireplaces?
We will have people light their burners on the gas stove. That's incredibly a no-no. Also, trying to use your oven. Don't do that. If you need heat, then you need to find an alternative place to stay, because we're going to have 2 to 3 days of very, very cold weather. And there are stations around Tulsa that you can find a warm place to stay.
Yeah, if you have family or friends, we do recommend that you find some place where you can stay safe, stay warm. And like Officer Runyan said, if you don't have to get out, once this weather gets bad, just try to avoid that. We have first responders that'll be traveling the roadways, responding to 911 calls. If you're out on those roads, you could potentially harm those firefighters by losing control of your vehicle. Just last year, we had a handful of fire trucks that were hit on the roadways. Thankfully, no one was injured, but they easily could have been. And it's a high likelihood that you're going to be injured if you run into a fire truck. These are very big, and they don't have a whole lot of give to them. What about fireplaces? Do you have recommendations for that?
Prior to now, you should have had it inspected by a chimney sweep that's licensed. Make sure you clean them annually. Make sure your flue's open when you start the fire. Then you want to have the protective screens in place. Don't ever start a fire in your house with any type of flammable or combustible liquid.
Also, it's crucial that you have an operational smoke detector. This year alone, we've been responding to approximately 4 structure fires per day. It's a lot of fires. And a large majority of those, it has been because of heating sources. We want to make sure that everybody has those operational smoke detectors because it gives you precious time to get out of your home. If you're sleeping and a fire happens at your home, you may not get out in time if you're not alerted. So those are free of charge. The Tulsa Fire Department will come out and install it for you. All you have to do is call 918-596-9444. And there's really no excuse not to have that. Bryan, talk to us a little bit about CO detectors.
So CO detectors are important because, as they say, CO is the silent killer. There's no way to tell that you have CO in your house. So your best protection is to have a CO detector, and if possible, on each level of your home. And along with that, through studies, they've shown early detection by the smoke detectors, people are able to escape safely. When you think of a structure fire, you think of fire, but it's actually the smoke and poisonous gas that actually victims succumb to prior to actually fire or temperature. And so through studies of NIST, there's a new movement going. It's called Close Your Door. Sleeping with your bedroom door closed could buy you 10 minutes or more. It provides a barrier and allows you to escape safely from your home.
Just last week, firefighters utilized a technique called vent enter search, where they entered through a window and rescued a dog. And that's what Officer Runyan's talking about. If you have that door closed, those combustion products of combustion, that fire, it can't get to you as quickly. So that buys firefighters time too. So once they arrive, they can go through that window and pull you out of that atmosphere and keep you safe. Any other fire safety things that you can think of?
With the snow coming in, a lot of times we lose power, and some people have portable auxiliary generators, and we just highly recommend that you do not use those inside your garage. Those are outside the structure. Those are a heavy contributor of carbon monoxide poisonings during the wintertime. So keep that out away from your house in good ventilation, and then have heavy duty extension cords that you're going to go in and power certain items within your home.
And finally, we recommend that you have a plan. If you have small children at home, you need to go through that plan with them. You need to talk about what you're going to do if you have a fire at your home, and actually practice, whether that's going out the window, going out the door. Have a plan, have a meeting place so that they know where to meet you in a safe location, and make sure that they understand that nothing in your house is worth losing your life. So once they know the house is on fire, they need to get out immediately and call 911. We hope you stay safe throughout this weather. Thanks for listening to our tips. Call us if you need us.